Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, I am taking a look at one of your designs that you have linked me in the comment section of one of my videos. And for today, we're looking at the industrial, not very large ship, which is this thing right here. Now, despite its look at a first glance, it's a surprisingly detailed ship, especially when we go on the interior. It's a very well done ship. So let me just angle the camera a bit better, then we'll press F10 and find the industrial, not very large ship, which is part of the not very large series of ships this creator makes. This ship is 493 large blocks. It requires both decorative block DLC packs, so that's number 1, and the newest DLC pack, number 2. So let's start by going around the outside, then we'll go around the interior and just fly it around a little bit. So at the very front here, we've got our industrial cockpit, which we can access from the interior or exterior, depending on what you want to do. It's been surrounded by some battered armored blocks. Now, the battered skin works tremendously well on this ship. Just look at it around the outside. It adds so much detail to the standard blocks that it's just a worthy investment to get that DLC just to have those skins. We come around to the front. Next to the cockpit, we've got some slope blocks that come down to this little feature right here. So we've got 2 windows that go across, and they've got interior pillars that just bridge the gap, giving you a little bit of extra protection. Then if we come around to this side, we've got an antenna, which is always useful as a ramming spike. We come around to here. On the side, we've got some ion thrusters. Now, ion thrusters are the only ones that appear on this ship, so we can only go through space. And they have been evenly distributed around the outside, so it should handle pretty well. But up here we can see we've got ourselves a basic refinery that sticks on the outside. Now this allows you to access it from the outside. Say you went over to an asteroid, you can mine up a bunch of materials and just fly over to this port, dump it directly into the refinery, which is a nice thing to have. The only downside is if you were attacked by a drone or another player, it's going to be very easy to shoot out your refinery production blocks and all the other internals behind it. Around the side here, we've got some ion thrusters that point down, and you can see there's some ion thrusters that point up. On these little wing parts, we've got some large ion thrusters that poke forwards and backwards, and a few more on the side there for our left and the right. And that bat skin looks brilliant, doesn't it? It's just all those little bits of detail, like these bits right here, that it just randomly appears when you're pasting in all the blocks, and it does look great when you get stuff, especially like these 3 little knobbly parts right there. Then as we come around the back, we've got ourselves a hangar door, which we can fit in a fairly sizey ship actually. A bit bigger than the Dex fighter, but not too crazy big. But at the back here, we can see we've got ourselves 2 large ion thrusters and 2 smaller ion thrusters. Just above the hangar door, we've got our DLC window that allows us to see into our recreation area, where we've got our beds and even a jukebox to listen to some music. If I was to come around this side over here, we've got a doorway on both sides, which is how we're going to get into our ship. If I come up and above, we'll see a few little bits of defense in the form of a interior turret, and there are some more thrusters. We can come down and underneath, take a little gander here, where we've got ourselves a landing gear, so if we wanted to park ourselves on an outpost or on the moon, we can do so securely, and that about covers it. It's got some nice block work on there, and that skin does work wonders. So now it's time to get into my character and head on into the ship, because this is where it gets really impressive. So we come through this door here. Now there's no double doors for the airlock right here. There are further up, because this is where we're going to get a very tiny ship in. We could fit in, if I just spawn in here just to demonstrate the Dex fighter, hopefully it will come in. There we go. If I just bring this in right here. So yeah, you could get a little bit bigger of a ship in terms of lengthways, but you would need to cut down on the little wings. So yeah, you can get a fairly decent sized little ship. Maybe even a mining ship, could even be a land vehicle that you could deploy when you're on the moon. But anyway, we got ourselves a connector there to connect our ship up to, and we got an air vent down here, just to make sure we do have some form of oxygen in here, so when we take off our helmet, we don't suffocate. We then have some button panels over here, where the first one is for the depressurization of this room, and number 4 will open up the hangar door. So there is that. Then we can press it again to close it. And now it's time to head further in. So above us, there's not too much to talk about. I almost got crushed by that door. I didn't see where I was standing. Yes, up and above us, there's not too much to talk about. It's still those block skins, making it look brilliant. We've got some small lights going around, and we've got some very steep stairs that go all the way up to here. We can see ourselves our DLC stairs above us, which they do look brilliant, don't they, those stairs, especially with that battered skin. Looks like an abandoned outpost stairs, or stairs that have been in use for many years. But anyway, we can come through this door, which is our first airlock. So we've got two doors just facing into each other, so we've got a very tiny room right here. So this is the size of my character. Yes, you can maybe get 3 people in here before you start getting bounced around. But we can open up this, and now we're on our little junction part where we've got a gravity generator to make sure we don't float away. Our beacon is being stored in here, and we've got some cryopods which store above us, which is quite a neat way of storing them, because it can be quite a bulky block and take up a lot of room. So having them above you is very useful. So we just go like this and peer down at any aliens that come crawling past while you're carrying in your cryo chamber. We've got an O2H2 generator which is connected onto them, so that's how they're getting their oxygen and whatnot. And then behind here, we've got ourselves an air vent, which is leading to our recreation area. We've got our kitchen block, we've got our jukebox, and we got our vending machine, and sadly Keen has fixed the vending machine, so it no longer comes out at full force. They just drop down like that. So you can no longer try and kill people with the vending machine. But anyway, coming around to here, we've got our jukebox, where we can just play good music. There we go. And then play. There we are, that can just play while we're in here. So through here, we've got ourselves a toilet. There's no door on here, but you could, if you wanted to, set up a projector block to cover that up and make it look good, especially if you were to use the disco armor with a black skin, so that works very well with concealing who's behind there. On the opposite side, we've got ourselves a shower. There's not too much privacy on this shower, right next to the bed and right next to where you're preparing food, so you can look at someone in the shower there, or you can look at someone in the toilet over there. Coming around to this side here, we've got some more beds where we can just go to sleep in. And we've got ourselves a little armory locker right here to store all our tools and weapons in. And this is our DLC window that looks at the back there. It's very good, isn't it? And I do like how it reflects all the stuff behind you as well. We do have another locker right here, but other than that, we can just keep on going to the front. Now down here is a very ominous room. Don't know why I just looked at it. I thought I saw something over here. A little orange creature, but I think I'm imagining stuff. But through this room is a very ominous room, because it looks like a prison chamber where you can lock somebody in here and just keep them, well, locked in here like a prison. Or you could do other stuff like, say, put a chair in here if you wanted to, so we can find a chair block. If I can spell chair. Oh, it's called the C, isn't it? Silly me. Yeah, so you could, if you wanted to, just go and maybe delete one of these blocks over here and just put a seat in. There we go, that's all fine. And you can just sit in here, decorate it a little bit, have your own little private study if you wanted. Yes, you would have to remove these ramps to get it in. Now we can come back through here and come up these very steep steps. Above our lovely DLC stairs, we come to our cockpit, where we've got 2 little seats there for your co-pilots to sit on, or they could come round to this seat right here and control the turrets. Now this has been set up ready, which is brilliant. So you just press 1 and you can use that interior turret on top of you. Let's just shoot around here, it's all fine, there we are. And we also have access to the cargo container of our main system and 2 reactors which are connected up, which is nice to manually be able to put stuff into it. But now it's time to get into the cockpit, and we have nothing on our bar to talk about, so it's time to do a little thruster test. Before I do that, you could, if you really wanted to, just put up some controls, so you could like group together all the doors. So if you wanted to, you could have doors, all the sliding doors, put them into a group, then just find the groups. So you could just drag it down here and set them to close. Find the hangar, we could put it over here to open and close. It's got the interior turret, which we can drag down here and turn it on and off, and all that. So we just press that button to close up all the doors, press that to open and close the back. But yeah, now it's time to go for a thruster test. So going forwards, we've got a nice amount of speed thanks to those 2 large iron thrusters there pushing us forwards. And then stopping is very good as well. Going left and going right is quite slow but perfectly serviceable. And then going down It's still fairly slow, but better than left and right, but slower than going forwards and backwards. And going up as well is fairly slow. Moving my mouse around, we've got plenty of control over this. There's still some weight to it, especially when you see the weight on the bottom right hand of the screen. Yeah, there's still plenty of weight to it, so it's not too floaty while controlling it. It's just a well-balanced ship in terms of thruster placement. But that is it for the industrial, not a very large ship. It's a surprisingly good ship with a great interior, and I'd highly recommend you downloading it and playing around, especially if you wanted to do this in survival mode. You could very easily build this and get it up and running. It's not too expensive once you've got to the point where you can build ion thrusters, and could be a fun little mobile base to go around all the asteroids through space. So it'll be in the description below if you wish to download it and play around with it yourself, and I'll be back with another showcase request some point soon. Bye bye.